CEOs of public companies, here is a pro tip on communicating with investors. I don't know if you guys are making this mistake. Are you making hostage videos? Hostage videos, as I call them. The other day, I was walking along the river here, the Seine, and I see this lady of a certain age, as they say. She's got a camera mounted on a little tripod and camera phone, and she's, I guess, talking into it. And all of a sudden, I overhear the word OTC pink sheets, and I could tell right away I knew she was making a pitch, an investment pitch. I guess she was a CEO of a public company. And I was curious, what is this in Paris? Like, how many public companies or CEOs are based here? Or why is she doing this? Yeah, she's making, I can see she's doing multiple takes. I'm curious what's going on here, right? I come over to her. I say hello. I say, bonjour. And she goes, "Oh, is that bad?" I don't know if she thought I was trying to pick her up or something, or I'm some tourist asking her for directions. So I said, "Oh, you have a public company?" And I overheard you said that. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm very busy. I'm waiting for the sun because it's a cloudy day." She said, "Oh, if the sun doesn't come out, then I'm going to look terrible." Yeah, she's basically worried about her appearance. So that's why she's doing multiple takes in clouds. It does affect things. Obviously, I don't really care that much because the lady's obviously more concerned about the appearance. But here's what I was going to offer her. See, the problem is this. When you're doing one of these videos where you're talking directly into the camera, the irony of it is that if you're doing it as a CEO of a public company and you're communicating a message to investors, it's not as powerful, it's not as credible as when you're doing it in a sort of organized professional interview. Of course, I'm biased. I would say a Wall Street Reporter CEO interview, which of course is the gold standard. But quite frankly, anything is better than having you talk directly into a camera. And why is that? Because if you're being interviewed, again, you're a CEO of a public company, you're being interviewed, you want some credibility, right? Now, look, I'm here, I'm a guy, like I'm a salesman. I don't really care. Although my video would be more effective if this was an interview, quite frankly. But hey, what can I tell you? Learn from my mistakes. So the point is this. Now, I do see CEOs doing this where I don't know if they're trying to save money. Now, look, once in a while, I think it's actually pretty good to do something a little, if you have an active social media site and, you want to do a quick video or something, I think it's actually quite useful if it's something that comes across as a little more casual, a little more spontaneous. Look, as long as it's spontaneous, I think you can get away with it. Now, what I saw her doing the mistake was she was doing it in a very formal way. She was all dressed up. She was obviously trying to do a CEO interview and try to save some money. Now, again, that is actually one of the problems, is that it doesn't save you money. It makes your message much less effective. Again, it's what's the old saying? Somebody who represents themselves in court has a fool for an attorney and an idiot for a client, or vice versa. Anyway, bottom line is it's always better to have somebody else representing you, or actually valid, especially if you have a brand name. Now, look, the reason why Wall Street Reporter is so effective is very simple. Now, in case you do not know this, Wall Street Reporter was actually the very first company to do CEO interviews. Basically, I'm the guy who invented the concept of the CEO interview online. I know it sounds like, oh, wow, what's the big deal? In 1997, nobody was doing it. Nobody cured it. And also the technology was not there. We were doing it in streaming audio. Again, there was a brand new technology. Nobody was doing streaming audio. Why is audio so effective? Now we take it for granted. We're doing video now, right? The reason audio or video is effective, it's very simple. The more you can make it lifelike. Again, my whole goal with these interviews was I saw the power of having a CEO connect to a live audience, because I remember seeing that done in road shows where companies would present to a room full of investors. When they did that over and over again, I saw with my own eyes how effective that was. And this is going back to the early 90s. These CEOs who did these road shows over and over again, they produced results. Because again, if you got the right story, and you connect with the right audience, you're going to get buyers. It's as simple as that. It's like sales 101. I don't know why some people don't get it. There's really no magic to it. But the reason why Wall Street Reporter, quite frankly, we invented the concept of CEO interview with only guys doing it for years. And I think people have caught on to it. But why is a Wall Street Reporter so effective? It's quite simple. It is because you got the power of the brand name. Now, if you don't understand this, then you're an idiot, quite frankly. But the Wall Street Reporter brand name has been around almost 200 years now, 180 years. And people, either they think they know what they don't, it sounds like the Wall Street Journal, or it sounds whatever. It's a very powerful brand. It's called a heritage brand, as they say. in the marketing business. And the power of these heritage brands is incredible. And also, you got to realize we have a tremendous track record of stocks going up. So investors associate anything with Wall Street Reporter as basically means success. It's just shorthand. It's just marketing psychology, psychology 101. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure these things out. But yeah, so basically, yeah, having Wall Street Reporter, having your interview in Wall Street Reporter adds massive credibility to your message, massive credibility to your message. So my suggestions, if you're going to do one of these hostage videos, as I say, like I'm doing right now, you want it to be spontaneous. This is spontaneous a little bit. I'm walking here or whatever. You want to do it once in a while because I think it's actually good because it gives investors takes them behind the scenes, so to speak, into your life, if you will. Just, you want to be careful how you do it. You don't want to, I see I use the example of a CEO sending tweets from a golf course on a Wednesday in the middle of the week during market hours. During market hours, this guy puts out tweets from a golf course. Is playing golf in the middle. Why? I have no idea. In my opinion, that's a no. I don't want to see guys on vacation. This is not something you do. But this guy's doing it, and I think it will reflect badly. So you don't want to have something where it looks like you're too relaxed. You're basically, you're half-assing the job. Yes. See what I was telling you about the light? Yeah, this lady was right. The light changes, and now we got clouds are coming in, and yes. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, you don't look as good. So the point is, if you're going to do one of these candid videos, yeah, do it so it seems like you're really productive and busy. Yeah, do it like while you're at the airport and say, "Yeah, I'm going to a major meeting, potentially an acquisition, whatever." And again, not a private jet, so I don't want people to think you're wasting money. Do it at an airport lounge or whatever. So it's like part of your everyday life as a CEO. Like you want the message to come across that you're productive, right? That's point number one. Point number two, you could do once in a while, but again, don't rely on this to save money. I remember one of the things that we were asked when we were started the CEO interviews was, why can't I just do my own CEO interview recorded? Like back then it was like on a tape recorder. Why don't I just record it and put it online? But then again, who's your audience? The whole point of these interviews is getting an audience. It's not about the interview. It's not about, it's people think this is a commodity thing. It's not. It's about the audience, number one. Number two is the credibility of the audience. Number three is, I think, the quality. And here's what I mean by quality. Now, it's pretty well known that I'm well known for doing interviews that produce results. Meaning, while we're doing the interview, a lot of times you'll see that stock going up. Why is that? I have a little bit of experience. I understand investor psychology, market psychology, and my goal is to transmit high energy into the interview. There's a lot behind it. I train CEOs on how to do this. It's very powerful. It's very subtle. Most people don't understand how this works, but it produces results. My goal, again, obviously is to convey information, make the interview informative, help investors understand the story. But number two is create a positive energy, energize the stock, catalyze the stock. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't understand it, you're lost. But this is one of the things that we talk about in the 100X CEO Academy, 100 Bagger CEO Academy, our mastermind for CEOs of public companies who want to maximize their full potential and their stock price. Again, our goal is really very aggressive. It's an aggressive goal. But the goal is to create stocks that become 100 baggers. That's right. They go up 100X. Is it possible? Why not? Somebody has to do it. Why can't it be you? Really, why can't you build a company that becomes 100 bagger? If you want to do it, you can do it. Look, we've cemented the moon. There's been tremendous human achievements. I mean, I can go down the list. The invention of the light bulb. Somebody can invent a light bulb, but you can make 100X stock. It might take you a couple of years, but the whole idea is we want to open up your imagination, open up your mind to the full potential of what you can do. You want to tap into your full potential, maximize your capacities. So you can be all you can be. Look, life is short. We only have one chance at this. To make it a legendary life, you want to be a legendary CEO, right? Why not? You're a CEO of a public company. When you're a CEO of a public company, it's like you're on the Super Bowl, right? Very few people get a chance to run a public company. That's somebody giving you the keys to a Formula One race car. Okay, you're getting a Formula One race car. You got to know what you're doing, right? You can either just drive it slowly, or drive it at 200 plus miles an hour and do whatever. It's a very powerful tool if you know what you're doing. And that is our goal, is to help you maximize this opportunity that you have right now in your hands. So the takeaway is this: hostage videos, do it in a kind of a spontaneous, casual way where the underlying message, the subtext is that you're on the go, you're working on the company full 24 hours a day. That should be the subtext of the video. And then of course, if you're doing, obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably a Wall Street Reporter client. And if you're not a Wall Street Reporter client, I don't know what you're doing running the public company. But now you understand some deep investment psychology. And on a final note, when you're doing one of our interviews, if you're one of our clients, remember, look into the camera and project the feeling of your stock being 100x. If your stock is $1, project that feeling of your stock being $100. What would that feel like? The camera picks it up. The audience picks it up. It's very, I know it sounds a little new age and kooky and whatever. It just happens to work. Anyway, if you want to know more about things like this, more techniques, join the 100 Bagger CEO Academy, 100x CEO Academy. And you too can become a legendary CEO and not just the average CEO. Here's to your 100x.